Hey, welcome everyone. Kevin Carpenter here with Patrice Roy. We're getting ready for CppCon 2024. How's it going today, Patrice?
Is going fine, and I am looking forward to that conference again this year. It's going to be awesome.
It's last year we had some good growth. I liked where we were at last year because we were downstairs and it's just kind of, just felt intimate's not the right word, but it's the best word I can come up with. It felt
Well,
cozy.
yeah, that's what I would have said too. I mean, we were closer together, but it was still a big event, lots of fun people. But the layout, I think, suited the conference well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite talk you're looking forward to or speaker?
Yeah. You had me, you asked me that earlier, and I was looking at it, and there's so much good stuff. It's awesome. So,
Yeah.
so I'll give you a few because I was looking at the Monday schedule, and there's one at the same time as I am, which is bad. This is the bad thing about CppCon. There's too much stuff, but there's one called "Bridging the Gap: Writing Parallel Programs for CPU and GPU," which is totally something interesting, but exactly the same time as I am. This is really, really bad. Uh,
It's a
Later
good
on,
thing
though,
stuff's recorded, right?
awesome. But I would like to go there, but I'm hoping people will go to my talk too because it's gonna be cool. On Monday also I saw something. I like cool titles, so as you probably noticed from my talk. It's called Composing Ancient Mathematical Knowledge into Powerful Bit Fiddling Techniques. So, with a title like that, it's bound to be cool. Um, on Tuesday, there's a guy I know because I met him at CVCon last year, and he's been participating in the G14 with us, called Khalil Estelle, doing a talk on exceptions for firmware. That's going to be interesting. Uh,
Yes.
I have a soft spot for the Beeman project because I knew Beeman Dawes a bit, and he was an awesome person. So, if there is no ISO meeting on Wednesday, I'm going to go to try to the talk by David Senkel, who's a great speaker all the time.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so I have a problem with Thursday too. See, because CVCon put at the same time Michael Case and Lisa Lippincott, two of the most awesome speakers on the planet. I'm
Yep.
probably going to go to Lisa because she always blows my mind, but Michael is very good also. So something called Perspectives on Contracts is bound to be enlightening. And to be honest, two things on Friday because that I'm going to try to do both, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make the second one. There's something called An Ode to Concepts by Nina Rands, an awesome person, very technically sound, very good person, very nice. And
Yes.
and a soft spot for Cassio Neri in the afternoon because you won't know that, but I've been quoting him for years, but I've never met the guy. He wrote a text on Dr. Dobbs like way back on a really cool trick with exceptions and lambdas that I liked and that I've been reusing in classes for like 15 years or something, but I had never met the guy. So if I can get to him and say thank you, my friend, you can say who are you? I guess it's gonna be cool. But normally I tend to have to leave a bit earlier than I would like on Friday afternoons to catch the plane, so I might miss him.
Yeah, it's funny because with all the other conferences I sometimes work and help with, yeah, Casio, I got to see part of his talk and David Sankel, when they started the Beeman project this year at C++ now. I mean, like you're saying, there's just so much good stuff this year. And so, speaking of good stuff, you've actually got a class that you're teaching,
Yeah,
optimizing with modern C++ in 2024. So, tell us
yeah.
about that because a class with you.
Well, it's interesting. I think the class was given last year too. That class's inception came from a request by a game company I often work with. It's IDOS in this case, because I work with game programmers quite a bit, and they said we would like something on how to optimize code in a portable manner. So use the language better to get better results, better returns out of it. Uh, in terms of how memory is organized, in terms of how to profile stuff, how to find the places where it's going to hurt in my code, how to make the code smaller, faster, more deterministic, and so on and so forth. So I built that class for that company, but I first gave it at CppCon last year because schedule-wise it just fell there. We had fun. I think it was a cool class, really. And after that, I got to give it to the actual games people. I gave it a few times. It was a fun class to give. And I said, why not give it again this year? So we'll see. I've been giving classes at CppCon since 2016 every year, if I'm not mistaken. I've had at least one, sometimes two. And I'm hoping the run continues because it's a lovely venue and I meet great people there.
So I have to. I'm kind of curious. I know that modern C++ in 2024, but how when we look at the versions of C++, do you end up covering like how you can do performance and modernization, whether you're in C++ 17, 20, or 23, or is it mainly just the newest?
No, no, no. The My baseline is C++ 17. I make sure that my stuff runs there most of the time because lots of engines that my usual customers have been using or are still using are limited to C++ 17. There
Mhm.
is a growing part of the community that uses 20, so I do use 20 in my class. I give glimpses of 23 all the time because it's so much cool to see the new stuff, but I make sure that most of the stuff runs on 17, and if I give 20 specific stuff, I try to have a backup
Yeah.
for those companies who don't go there. Normally I don't have to go lower than 14, but I can, because I have lots of tricks. I can go back to 98 if I'm stuck. I even have one example that I've been building over years that I know runs for C++ prior to 98 because I've had to use it in an airplane system recently. So yes, they used a very old compiler.
So the good part is whatever compiler someone's using, for the most part, they're going to find
Something
some gems taking the class with
because
you
I'm old
along.
enough to have tricks.
Yes. Well, and if when everyone's done taking your class, because if you're coming to CppCon, to get training, I have to say this, like, this is probably one of the most cost effective ways to get training from a trainer, because to come to the class is far cheaper than bringing you into. I mean, please hire Patrice to come into your company and teach. However, if you want to send someone, this is the way to do it because it's just a
Yeah.
cost effective way.
Absolutely, because there's not just me. There's a lot of very proficient people there, so you get to meet all of the others. For one thing, the classes are yeah, they cost something, but they cost, as you said, a lot less than bringing me somewhere. So if you, lots of companies, what they will do is they will send one or two people to my class, and then
Mhm.
those people will go back to their company and bring the returns, and then we communicate through email if they have questions or something like that. That just works. So it is an effective way. They can also see other people with similar problems. So that's interesting because we trade war stories and we trade tricks together. So sometimes
Ah,
people
yeah,
discover profiling tools during the class that they like, they share it with the others, and everyone grows from that.
yeah.
The main thing about these conferences is the people. I mean, they're bright people with real problems. So the discussions are very interesting, friendly, enlightening. Everyone gets out of these classes better and happier, I would say.
So, as you were talking, you've had lots of time helping teach at game companies, which leads me into the segue of many ways to kill an orc or a hero, which has
Absolutely.
got to be for me, it's the best title at CppCon.
And that's not saying much because there's so many good titles.
I
It's a cool
know.
talk. I have to be honest. I have too much material for this one because I tried it with the local users group 2 months ago. Yeah, it was at a high frequency trading firm. They were hosting it. Lots of people in the room. It was a cool crowd. I've been teaching for lots of years, so I knew about
Yes.
half of the people there because like students they come back from time to time because they're happy to see me. That's cool. So I gave that talk, lots of reactions, lots of interaction, because it's the kind of talk where people can stop me anytime. We just chat, we react. It's written or built in a way to make people react, ask questions, and disagree with me. So it's kind of cool. But we actually, yeah, we make an effort to kill lots of orcs and heroes. I'm a non-violent person, but in code you're allowed to do things like that. So ways to make it fast. It's not an optimization talk. It's a talk on ways to do things. So various approaches to your software to solve this little problem, which is an excuse to make something fun, of course, with actual art getting pictures.
That's cool. And
Yeah,
you were absolutely right. As we were talking at the beginning, there are so many good topics going on this year. But I have a bias because, like I was saying, I think I've been killing orcs since the late 80s or something with, yeah.
you're a wise person. But killing heroes happens too. It's part of the game.
Yes.
There's many against one against one fights to make the situations to make the fight more even or biased. There's many ways to do this. It's kind of an interesting problem.
And so everyone needs to come see your talk.
Of
And
course.
I look forward to seeing you at CppCon here. And, we're not too far out. September 14th is when classes start. And
It's
then the
very
conference is soon after
soon.
that.
I'm looking forward. It's so much fun every year. So I'm glad I've been there every single year since the beginning, and I hope not to miss one ever.
That's awesome. Thanks for your time today, Patrice.
Thanks thanks for your time too, my friend.
I will see you in Aurora.
Bye bye.